Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts Broadcasting Radio. The Frankenstein Earphone Radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Welcome back to Frankenstein Control, everyone.
Yay!
Cologuard, etc., etc. This is actually going to be our final Frankenstein recording session in the current Frankenstein Control recording area.
Yep.
Because you guys are moving, and we're going to have a new studio coming up soon.
New studio.
Why there's stuff in boxes and being packed up everywhere. There's... You know Ada's moving when there's boxes labeled witch hats and witch hats, formal.
I have a shoe rack, and I put all my shoes in the rack in the same box. Mm-hmm. I just labeled it Ada's foot stuff.
There's a whole box of toe jam. I had to pack up my entire toilet full of wine.
You're making closet pruno. Don't worry, the toilet was never used. You bought it fresh from Lowe's. And just put it in your closet in there and just used it to make... You could have literally bought any container to make it in, but it wouldn't be proper toilet wine if you
No, it wouldn't. You need that porcelain, those notes of porcelain within.
Pristine porcelain.
The used porcelain gives it a distinctive aftertaste.
Ammonia and bleach, boy!
Not enough really happened during our recording hiatus to really worry about. There's a bunch of Elon Musk news, I guess, because he hosted SNL. And
oh, yeah, that was a disaster.
I'm assuming there was a horrible amount of tension with the cast where he saw Pete Davidson and thought he was a goblin for a minute. But that was swiftly paved over. I kid Pete Davidson. I actually like Pete Davidson, but...
heir to the Harley Davidson fortune.
Sure.
Speaking of Muskrat, we saw Starlink launches.
Damn, like where?
We were visiting Taylor's mom, who lives out in the country.
Out in the country.
And his brother just happened to look up and oh, look at that. Oh, it's Starlink. As we looked up and basically saw a line of UFOs, glowing stars traveling through the sky at a rapid pace.
All in a line.
All in a
straight-ass line.
Straight line.
That's rad as fuck.
All one after another. It was like connect the dots, but if caveman saw it, they would have gone,
We started to go, ooh, there was involuntary monkey noises happening between us.
Turned into the opening sequence from friggin' 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I evolved a bit. It's true.
Yeah.
I beat my brother Brian to death with a boat.
You were going to do that anyway. It was the night's scheduled activity. It was a game of pinata gone horribly awry.
Pinata.
Get the treats out of him.
I got all the treats out of Brian.
I got a sweat gland.
Ew. One of the best jokes on King of the Hill was when Dale tried to you know that guy who put a bunch of weather balloons on a lawn chair and went aloft airborne with it?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, there was an episode where Dale tried to do that because he's Dale and he's an idiot. But Dale, being slightly smarter, tricked Bill into being the person actually on the lawn chair, so it wasn't Dale himself.
Yeah.
And it immediately goes out of control. And he doesn't go into the stratosphere, but he does just sort of get hung up by his feet and dragged around by the stupid weather balloon amalgamation that they've tied to him.
Uh-huh.
And he's just upside down, and he wakes up on the lawn of this Hispanic family, and the kids come out. And they start the older teenager kids start mocking him and calling him Senor Pinata because he's hanging upside down from a tree, and they start hitting him with sticks. And because it's Bill, candy actually does fall out of his
All right, candy in my pockets, Pank. 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 That's my friend, Pank.
I was gonna say something else about Starlink or your beating Brian to death with a bone. No, I know what it was. Lissa and I actually watched 2001: A Space Odyssey the other week because she'd never seen it before, and it was on HBO Max, and we were looking for something to watch. And there was just really long sequences of the space shit in there that has all the operatic music while stuff just really slowly floats into place. Mm-hmm. And Lissa's like, wow, this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, most of the movie is this. I'm glad you like it because this is most of the film.
Most of the film is very, very, very long shots. People had more patience back then.
Yeah. People were more in awe of this back now.
People are in awe of it for different reasons these days. Mostly, wow, to think people made shots this long back then.
I do have to say that a lot of the stuff depicted in that movie, though, I mean, even
it's
though
exactly what's going to happen on Elon Musk's Mars base.
Yeah, pretty much. He's going to discover the giant. He's either going to do Doom or 2001: A Space Odyssey, possibly both.
2001: A Doom Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's going to be Ghosts of Mars, but with goblins instead of whatever the fuck those monsters were in Ghosts of Mars.
They were people, but they were just possessed by demons.
Oh my god, why is everybody finding demons on Mars?
A ghost of a person possessed by a demon on Mars.
That's the movie. Well, they're Martian ghosts, and they possess the people on Mars. And that's weird because, like, the main dude the character is literally called Big Daddy Mars. He's, like, the leader of the ghosts of Mars. He's, like, this big, hulking Nathan Explosion in full corpse paint looking guy. Mm-hmm. And he looks like either Marilyn Manson or Rob Zombie.
Or Marilyn Monroe.
On stage during, like, the phase of their career where they were the most extra. And we will talk about that. But I'm like, you're telling me, like, these people obviously, like, carved themselves up like the Reavers on Firefly under the influence of the Martian ghosts. So they made themselves look a little bit freakier, but they still pretty much look like what they did when they were non-possessed. So this dude just looked like this and was on Mars in some capacity, presumably working as a miner. But looking like Rob Zombie on Mars or some shit.
He worked in an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, why was this hulking, long-haired, They had
him move the refrigerators.
Cool, yeah. He moved the fridges on Mars.
Yeah, he moved the fridges on Mars, which honestly, I'm pretty sure any of us could move a fridge on Mars. The gravity's very low there.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be so fucking cool. That'd be the one thing I'd be totally stoked about going to Mars for. Like, yeah, I'll die of radiation almost instantly, but I can lift a fridge with one hand. That'll be tight.
Yeah.
Like, look what I can do. Look how strong I am, Grandmama. And Grandma's like, I've got cancer.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're on Mars. You get cancer almost instantly.
I didn't know that. Mars cancer.
I cannot. Stop.
You stop.
It is allergic to your horrible Mars cancer.
Yeah.
No.
You gave her Mars cancer.
I'm making jokes because I cannot understate enough how fucking radioactive space is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's radioactive as shit. Everybody, because you can't see it, nobody thinks about it.
Yeah.
But there's radiation fucking everywhere, especially, on Mars and any other planet that isn't Earth. There's a reason why we're here and not there.
Yeah.
It's because the place will fucking kill you. And I think a lot of people underplay just how much these places will fucking kill you.
Yeah, we kind of evolved here and for only this condition.
Mm-hmm.
Even our own sun will kill us if given enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun wants you dead more than anything. The star, the hateful.
We're talking about old movies, and
did you have an intro?
No.
Okay.
I figured I was tired.
Well, we got to introduce ourselves.
Okay. Well, we will do that. Take it away, Mr. Russell.
Welcome to Frankenstein Control. I'm your host, Elon Musk. To my right is Ada Ship.
I'm Ada, the flying rodent. I use echolocation to eat mosquitoes at night. Thank me.
And in front of me, as always, is local pest control consultant B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and listen, I've been doing a lot of painting and working on the house, and that means dealing with all of the frickin' spiders we have in every single corner of our house and giant millipedes. So what better way to remove them from my house? I have not been killing many of them. I've been trying very hard not to kill any of them.
To put them in a cup and take them outside?
Yes, and I've been using, in order to keep them in said cup, instead of spilling out and crawling all over my hand and making me freak out and scream, I've been using a piece of the incessant ASPCA mail that I get all the time with the sad pets. And I'm like, you know what? If you're going to send this to me, I can't afford to donate to you on a monthly basis, but I will use your mail to save an animal. And that is an appropriate usage of it.
Yeah. In the legs of the roaches.
No roaches just so far. Just a bunch of them house spiders that Marianne pointed out are an invasive species. And
the cellar spiders?
Yeah, those things.
Those are tiny little boys. I'd pick them up with my hands.
Those are fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
in our house.
they're so small. They pose no threat, but they're really good. I keep them around. They're like one of 2 spiders that I actually keep around in my house.
We are only relocating them because we're painting.
Oh, okay.
If we weren't painting and doing shit in the room, I probably wouldn't even notice their presence.
You could spray paint them silver and they become Metal Mario, but a spider.
We do get millipedes at the house, which is really weird. And when I say millipedes, I mean giant, like 4-inch long, several centimeters around millipedes that look like something that escaped from a pet store.
Yo, that's awesome.
But they're native, apparently, to this region, and
I love millipedes. That sounds
only
great.
live
Take
in
a
our
picture
house.
of one next time you see one. I wanna be one with the millipede.
You know what's funny is I had pictures on my phone, and just before this episode, I was killing time by my phone's always bitching at me that my iCloud storage is full. So I was like, fine, I got a few minutes here. I'm waiting for us to get set up. I'm going to scroll through and delete all my old pictures, and I deleted the millipede pictures when we first moved in.
You foolish fool!
But no, I know what I was going to talk about. So we're watching old movies, and one of the movies we watched this past weekend was the very first Godzilla.
Oh.
The first one ever.
Yeah.
Gojira?
Yeah, and it's in black and white, and surprisingly well acted. I mean, they really committed back then for, a do-fast monster movie.
Yeah.
But the first Godzilla movie ends with them blowing up Godzilla. And all subsequent Godzilla have been, I guess, different ones than that one what exploded in the first Godzilla movie, and
especially Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, and they blow him up at the end of the movie, and he explodes into bones, because they hit him with an oxygen destroyer, which I guess makes Godzilla explode into bones.
Mm-hmm. That's what it does.
Scientifically, it's exactly what it does.
It says it right on the container. Will explode you into bones.
It's very accurate.
Yes.
Optional xylophone music as your individual parts clatter to the ground. But one of the scientists who develops the Godzilla blower upper claims that he has to be the one to detonate it personally, and it'll blow him up too.
Oh.
And he's like, "This is a very devastating weapon, and the only way to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands is to blow myself up with it, and I will allow it to be used only once to blow up Godzilla." And everyone's like, all right, fine. So he does it.
All right.
So he does it. And then I was like half paying attention at this point. Because I watched this movie like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't require a great deal of paying attention to, because it's a fucking Godzilla movie from 1958. But I guess at the very end of the movie, they're doing like a at-sea sort of military funeral for the scientist who blew himself up. And also potentially for all of like the Japanese sailors who were killed in the various ships in the battle with Godzilla before they successfully blow him up.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, saluting and putting a wreath in the water and doing all this military funeral shit. And I was like, are you doing a military funeral for Godzilla? Is that for him?
We're here to honor the big lizard who killed all of us.
Yeah. It's a shame we had to blow him up and make him explode into bone.
He was really cool.
It's a shame we had to kill him to kill him.
Oh, also, all of the special effects in that movie are very obviously toys.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, what else would they be able to do back then? They didn't have computers.
No, they didn't. And it's like, it's sort of like in, going back to 2001 Space Odyssey. Like, you could tell it's all miniatures, like the Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. But it still looks good.
Yeah.
And in a way, it almost looks better than CGI sometimes, because you can tell it's a physical object.
Yeah.
And even the best CGI can't always sell, like, being an actual thing.
Yeah.
And so it actually kind of works.
Yeah. There's just a physicality to it. You have this innate feeling of, like, this is a thing that exists instead of, a thing made by a computer with pixels.
Yeah.
I can hold this object.
Yeah.
I can touch it.
I can hold Godzilla in my tiny hand.
Well, Godzilla was a costume, though, right?
Yes, and you can hold that man in your hands and give him a tender smooch.
Oh, tiny little man.
I think the original Godzilla man is dead.
I think the original Godzilla man was a woman.
I think that's also true.
I think a woman wore the Godzilla suit.
Which of these things is true? We don't really care, but please tell
Vote
us.
now by texting.
Yeah.
42138962114333489. Text Y for you think it's a woman. Text N for you think it's a man. Text W for why am I doing this?
And text 0 to receive a free Cologuard sample.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Apparently,
Delivered straight to your door.
This is something that happened since our last recording session, but Bill Gates is a little bit of hot water.
Oh yeah.
Now that certain affairs and unwanted advances and pursuings of people who worked for him have come to light, and also his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Wait, is this all true? Are you
Yes,
making
that's true.
funnies?
No, that's true.
Oh my god.
That happened. I mean,
He's a powerful man. I don't want to get sued.
it's part of the reason his wife is leaving him. And like we had the Daily Show clips on like autoplay on YouTube, just as like background music. Background music, you know what I mean.
Did it show the clip of him jumping over the chair?
No, it didn't, but
Oh.
it had an interview with him. Ronnie Chang on the Daily Show interviewed Bill Gates, and Bill Gates was, I guess, talking about the current project, probably still project of, his friggin' foundation there for charity and whatnot, developing.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Friggin' Foundation for Charity and whatnot.
You
for
gotta
Bill
read
Gates.
You got to read it in Carl's voice.
Yeah.
Carl's going to be the new CEO of friggin' Microsoft. Yeah. No, I guess they're trying to develop toilets for nations that don't have super good access to plumbing as like a part of, because he's all about trying to lift people out of poverty.
I'm sick of seeing people shit in the streets. I'm sick of it. Have toilets.
This is a long-winded thing of your Cologuard sample joke. Apparently, Bill Gates attended TED Talks where he debuted this by holding up a jar of shit.
Oh.
And it was just straight up Duke in a jar, and
It's making Jenkem.
yeah, it really did. It really. I'm Bill Gates, and here's some Jenkem.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
take
can
a
see
fat riff off of this and jump some chairs.
Yeah,
Who's with me?
You can see the balloon. It's all inflated and bouncing around. It's big and yellow.
Ugh.
It's like, I'm gonna fucking get crunk tonight. What about you?
Gotta fucking throw up.
I'm gonna throw up.
But
Says Bill Gates. Also, my Bill Gates sounds like fucking George Lucas.
my Bill Gates is exactly the same as my Todd Howard.
Oh. It just works. What just works? This Jenkem!
This is some dank shit, guys.
Dankem Jenkem. That's the name of the episode. Dankem Jenkem.
Jenkem.
Dankem Jenkem.
And
It's like Danganronpa, but a lot worse.
speaking of things that say their title somewhere in the episode, you wanted to talk about Some Like It Hot, didn't you, Taylor?
Yeah, we saw that over the weekend.
Bill Gates likes his Jenkem hot. So, I leave it in my car when I go into the supermarket. By the time I get out after an hour of shopping in the hot sun, it's ready to go.
Oh, it just works.
I want to reiterate, I'm gonna fucking throw up.
Yeah, over the weekend we watched Some Like It Hot.
The Marilyn Monroe movie.
Yeah,
of yesteryear.
I didn't know it was a Marilyn Monroe movie.
I think I sort of knew that it was a Marilyn Monroe movie, but I also forgot. It's the movie. You may know it as the movie Futurama used the plotline of twice. Once for the episode where Leela joins the army as a man.
That's right.
And then again in the episode where Bender competes in the Olympics as a fembot.
Oh, I thought it was he competes.
That's more of a Juana Man thing, but
No, I thought that was when he was a wrestler. He was in Robot Wrestling, and they made him the gender bender.
no, that's a
Where
different
like
episode.
everyone was booing, and I'm like, wow, things rarely change, huh?
Yeah.
You don't remember the episode where he competes in the Olympics as a fembot, and he goes through the full like sex change and everything, and
Oh my god,
it probably has some stuff that didn't age super well.
he's a fucking robot.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Is that it? Are they outlining the folly of it all?
I don't remember because I haven't watched the episode in about 4 years.
I don't think it was really like...
I haven't seen the episode in about 5 years, and I haven't seen
it's been a long time since I saw it.
I haven't seen it sober since it aired.
It's what everyone bitches about. What are you playing with laser pointer?
I like lasers.
It got on my hand.
Oh, because I'm shining it on a mirror on the ceiling.
Sorry, a little bit of ADD moment there. Give me that.
Ah, my laser pointer!
We
My
always
laser pointer.
find desktop objects to fuck around with while we record.
I removed the penises for this very reason.
I
But
need
you left-
to stim
and
it
yet-
up!
She left this tiny gun that I've been playing with. It's a tiny, very accurate little Walther PPK that I think came from the
It's
engineer.
Walther's pee-pee?
It's Walther's PPK.
Walther's pee-pee?
It's
Ooh.
the Polizia Pistolen.
Dolan Pistolen.
Yeah, I believe this probably came with the engineer action figure I gave you many
Yes.
years ago from Team Fortress 2.
Yes, it came from Engineer.
And I said several times during our warm-up that I want to put it in the Indian in the cupboard and have a real functioning little Walther PPK and rob a tiny bank with it. What were we talking about again?
Talking about
Bender.
something like it hot.
And how that episode was probably just transphobic because it goes on the whole made-up issue of...
Oh, I'm just going to do this for a thing.
well, like, yeah, exactly. Like, transitioning to cheating sports, which is
Yeah.
what transphobes think people are doing.
yeah, so like Fox News did a big hate thing.
A hate piece.
A big hate piece about transgender athletes because they're always like really mad about they like hyper focus on a single side of an issue and then like only focus on that to death.
Yeah.
And their weird focus of their hate piece for a while was transgender athletes, and they only found 9 of them countrywide.
Yeah.
And,
But they're ruining sports!
yeah.
9 of them ruining thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands
Of
of
incessant sport culture that
sport
reaches
things.
and has sway over our like every aspect of our lives.
Oh, it's kind of like it doesn't matter. Oh, it's kind of like it's not a problem, and you're just making it a problem because you're hateful.
Yep.
Because you're dumb and old and don't.
Anyway, Marilyn Monroe's tits are great.
Yeah, they are.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Like-
That's all I'm trying to say.
Like, distractingly so. I
Yeah.
know, like, that's the point of watching a movie with her in it. I'm sorry.
Wait,
I
what-
feel like that's mean to say.
I mean, like, was
But
that a?
she
was that-
resented her own being typecast, but she, like, her life was pretty sad.
Yeah.
They're gonna make an Andy Kaufman movie, but of Marilyn Monroe, and it's gonna star Jim Carrey as Marilyn Monroe.
But, and that might be
Because Jim
transphobic.
Carrey was Andy Kaufman.
We know, Taylor.
Okay. I just wanted to make that clear. It wasn't a trans joke. It was just funny. But no, yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, that movie is about 2 bums who suck at their lives and are in a band. And
2 idiots that fucking suck.
yeah, 2 idiots that are dumb. They are dumb so hard that they get caught up in a mob shooting, and they witness it, and they run away and join a traveling band made entirely of women, and they dress up like women. And
To infiltrate said band.
and it's Joanna Man, but with Marilyn Monroe's titties in it. And
it's Joanna Man, 50 years before Joanna Man.
yeah, it's Joanna Man before Joanna Man. And the movie, you know, hijinks ensue, hobbledy hoobity. But you know what? I liked the movie.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was funny.
It's a good movie.
It wasn't too bad. Like, I was expecting it to be an absolute horror show of like gender shit or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it was just funny. It's just a funny movie.
Yeah.
And
A lot
like,
of times you get the sense that like old-timey jokes didn't have the same sense of humor we have now, or people laughed at things differently, or they didn't quite have the same way of looking at things as we do now. But I have to say, the one line where the one character goes, "Tell us, Josephine, what's in your crystal ball?" That was so fucking funny, and it was so like the sass in it was so good that it was like it was funny now.
Yeah.
It was
A lot of it really did hold up.
yeah.
yeah, it was surprisingly so. Also, I guess, like, another reason why I'm holding this movie up so much is just, like, I know I keep bringing the topic back to it, but I can't get over it. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, how much tit you saw in that movie. And it's like a black and white movie. You aren't expecting that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You aren't expecting just booby. Just boobs staring straight at you, barely covered by anything. Just titty. Big old nipperly lemon-shaped titties. And they're there. And it was shocking, because, you know, it's an old-timey film. You don't expect that kind of thing.
You
And
don't
I was
expect
just like,
a level
wow!
of sexuality from an era that we all
well,
consider repressed.
And then that's why it hit me. at that moment, like, oh, that's why everybody says Marilyn Monroe was so fucking hot and shit. Because, like, all I know her from is, like, the picture where she's, like, on the air vent.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's it. I didn't know. I honestly knew nothing.
Culture.
I knew nothing about her fucking life at all.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what she did. I thought she was the Paris Hilton of her time where she just existed and had a boob. And then people were like, what a sex. And then...
What a sex! Oh, such a sex. That's a good one right there.
Oh, you co-sign that statement?
I signed cosine medium moded range. But, you know, seeing that movie, I'm like, oh, everything's clicking into place. Now I understand a lot. Also, I'm really sweaty. Oh, I'm getting the vapors. Miss Monroe, goodness gracious. She was curvaceous. Also, the leading gentlemen who were playing the leading ladies, I guess. I mean, they weren't ladies in the canon. They were guys dressing as women. But big kids in the hall vibes for the whole movie. I couldn't stop anticipating somebody about to bust out the chicken lady. I'm like, oh, hi! But it was not the politically incorrect shit show that I was expecting, and it was instead quite a fun movie. And the millionaire guy at the end is a lot of...
The one who looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, the one who looks like
with no lips and a wide mouth.
Yeah, the motherfucker who looks like Howdy Doody.
He looks like the Goosebumps cover of with the dummies.
It's kind of funny. I don't know if this tracked this way back then, but now he seems like a real scumbag for the whole movie. And at the end of the movie, you're like, whoa, this guy's awesome. What a cool dude. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants someone to hold. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
That's pretty cool.
Apparently, he was a really cool guy in real life too. The howdy doody looking guy.
Yeah, so I gathered.
Yeah, he a friend of ours was telling us he did some cool shit for some World War II
Holocaust refugees.
Holocaust refugees. That's right. And
He
I'm like, hey,
advocated on
man,
their
good on
behalf.
you.
She's like, do you remember pop-up video on VHS?
Pop-up video.
Was it
VH1.
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 Yes, that's what it was. I said that, I'm like, that's not right. Do you remember pop-up video?
I remember pop-up videos.
It would. They would just play music videos and
have little pop-up. Did you know?
Yeah, little pop-up at the bottom that would like do trivia.
Oh yeah.
And this shot it did whatever. Or this musician did whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Watching movies with Marianne is like having a pop-up video kind of thing because she's just constantly. I don't know where she's looking up all this relevant stuff at all times, but she'll just be like, that guy did this, and like that guy was all about this, and the scene, etc. Like how.
It's lots of fun. It's fun to learn shit.
I love it, but it confounds me.
Yeah.
How is she so quick about it?
She's analytical.
You when you're hanging out with her, you don't hear the constant buzzing and whirring of computer sounds, just like coming from her head.
It's been a while since
her ears. You hear, you got mail.
Last time I saw her, I had a mask on, so I couldn't hear her very well.
Last time I wore a mask was yesterday.
Yes.
I thought I'd let you know.
All right.
This has nothing to do with any of the topics of conversation we've covered so far.
Oh, we gotta wrap it up?
Oh, I guess...
Yes, Taylor. See, for everyone that doesn't know, because they're not here, to make it slightly easier on myself, I have a silent cue. I point at my room that is recording the episode and mouth almost time when I want these two to start wrapping it up
to rein in the episode bullshit.
But every fucking time I try to covertly inform my co-host that the episode is about to end, Taylor completely interrupts whatever anybody's saying, including himself, to say, oh, is it time to end?
He's funny.
Sure.
For me.
Oftentimes it is funny. This time it's funny.
I believe in transparency.
If you do it again, I will remove your testicles. With a rusty blade.
Ouchies!
Half the time, all of the gunshot endings are Ada's barely kept in check frustration at him for pulling similar antics.
Yes. Speaking of which, the episode is over now. Say goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.